Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Deep True Crime. I'm Manny Rodriguez. In today's episode, we are continuing the coverage of the billionaire Heiress Memphis teacher who was abducted while out on a morning jog. On September 2nd, 2022, this mother of two goes on her regular morning jog, something she does on a regular basis. On Friday, September 2nd, 2022, at approximately 7 a.m. in the morning, Memphis police officers, they responded to a missing person report at the home of Richard and Eliza Fletcher. Husband Richard Fletcher, he says that his wife went for her regular run around 4 a.m. in the morning and she had not returned home. She was last seen wearing a pink shirt, purple shorts, and running shoes. At about 6:45 in the morning, a gentleman riding his bike on Central Avenue near Zach H. Curlin Street finds the victim's cell phone as well as a pair of Champion slide sandals laying in the street in the same area. The Good Samaritan, he turns these items over to a family member of the victim, who in turn shared this with the investigators. Investigators, they located video surveillance that showed a black GMC Terrain passing and then waiting for the victim to run by. A male exits the black GMC Terrain, runs aggressively towards the victim, and then forces Eliza Fletcher into the passenger side of the vehicle. During this abduction, there appears to be a struggle as Champion slide sandals were found in this area. Surveillance video shows that the vehicle sat in the parking lot with the victim inside for approximately 4 minutes before it drove off. The vehicle did have noticeable damage to the back passenger tail light area. Approximately 24 minutes before the abduction, surveillance footage captures the same vehicle in the area in what looks to be a stalking of Eliza Fletcher. And so they send these Champion slide sandals that they find in this area, they send it off to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation for DNA testing. Shortly after that, they realize, hey, this DNA, there's an actual match in the CODIS database, and it matches to Cleotha Abston. Right away, they want to find Cleotha and ask some questions. Where were you before? Where were you during? Where were you after? Because guess what? His DNA is at this crime scene. Authorities were even able to find surveillance footage of Cleotha wearing these same Champion slide sandals a day before the abduction. On September 3rd, 2022, at approximately 10:45 in the morning, they locate the 2013 GMC Terrain. And they notice that the vehicle is backed into a parking spot in the parking lot area of the apartment complex. And they knew that this was the vehicle because of the damage that was captured on the video of the abduction and the partial plate identification that they also found on the surveillance footage. The U.S. Marshals, they also noticed that there's a man standing in the doorway at this apartment complex. And they recognized that to be Cleotha Abston. And so when Cleotha gets inside the vehicle, they then attempt to detain him. But he attempts to flee, but not before crashing into an ATF vehicle. Then he was taken into custody. They're speaking to multiple witnesses, including the perp's brother. They stated that they saw him cleaning the interior of this GMC Terrain with some floor cleaner, and both witnesses, one witness, another witness being his brother, admits like, yep, we saw him using floor cleaner and he was acting strange. Both people were saying this. And this witness, Chantel Anthony, and his brother Mario Abston, they say that they saw Cleotha washing his clothes in the sink of the house. And video footage does share that this abduction was a violent abduction, and that the suspect was waiting for her, then rushing towards her, then forcing her into the vehicle where she was confined and then missing for 3 days before they would find her body, before they would find her deceased body. Rest in peace, Eliza Fletcher, taken from this world way too soon. Authorities have not yet confirmed her cause of death, but they did say that we found the billionaire Heiress, and she was found 7 miles from where she was last seen. And neighbors all around are completely heartbroken as they describe their horror after the body was found. After vanishing while out for a jog around 4:30 a.m. on Friday, September 2nd, this would spark a 4-day-long hunt for the mother of two. The area where the body was found, it is just 100 yards from the Longview Gardens apartment complex where 38-year-old kidnapping suspect Cleotha Abston's brother Mario lives. Just prior to the announcement of the discovery of human remains, a large Memphis Police Department mobile command unit truck was moved into the area. Reporters who were covering the search were also asked to move further back from the scene. A van believed to belong to the medical examiner unit left the scene 6 hours after the remains were found and is thought to have been transporting the body. Throughout the evening of September 5th, they started confirming that a body was found. They were speculating that it was Eliza because of the area that it was found, but it wasn't confirmed until this morning that it was her. And photos from the scene showed a police helicopter circling above the search. Horrified neighbors gathered around the crime scene as this gruesome discovery was made. April Jackson, a neighbor of Mario, told DailyMail.com, "It's emotional. It really hurts. That could have been anybody out jogging that morning, a student, anyone. And he was just released 2 years ago for another abduction, and he gets out and does it again." She said, "It makes me sick." April was even out there yesterday offering to aid the search when police and a bloodhound were out in the area within a couple 100 yards of the body. April was out there yesterday offering to aid the search when police and a bloodhound were out in the area within a couple 100 yards of the body. At that time, they did not find the body at that very moment. It wouldn't be till the evening that they would discover the deceased victim. A neighbor of Mario Abston told DailyMail.com exclusively that she had seen the suspect at his brother's house nearly every day for the last month. Authorities arrested Cleotha Abston before charging him with especially aggravated kidnapping and tampering with evidence following Fletcher's disappearance on September 2nd. Especially aggravated assault basically means when a person commits assault, causes serious bodily injury to another, and uses or displays a deadly weapon. Meaning that he didn't just use his hands, he used something to get her to cooperate. A weapon of some sort. And there's so much evidence against him out of the gate. This is why he was arrested without even a body being found, because of everything that was going on around him. They have surveillance footage of the vehicle used in the kidnapping in the same area 24 minutes before the mother of two was taken at 4:20 a.m. in Memphis, Tennessee. And this surveillance footage, which has not been released to the public yet, does show Fletcher jogging around, being stalked, and then this footage shows a man running aggressively towards Fletcher and forcing her into the passenger side of the vehicle. Abston also had new charges filed against him that include identity theft, theft of property, and fraudulent use, illegal possession of credit debit card of $1,000 or less. Shortly before Eliza Fletcher's remains were discovered, we find out that Abston had priors for aggravated assault with a weapon, and rape, all while he was a juvenile. Cleotha Abston, whose nickname is Pookie, his new arrest comes just over 2 years after he was released from prison, where he served 20 years for the kidnapping and robbery of lawyer Kemper Durand in Memphis in May 2000. He also appeared in juvenile court records in 96, 1997, 1998, and 1999 for charges including theft, aggravated assault with a weapon, and rape. His bail has been set at $500,000 and he is refusing to cooperate with police. Police believe that Fletcher, a kindergarten teacher, suffered serious injury at the hands of Abston and that blood was left in the vehicle, which is what he was cleaning up. His brother, pictured far right in this photo, he was also arrested on Saturday, September 3rd, after officers searched his home when his brother was spotted acting suspiciously by neighbors. Officers found a semi-automatic handgun, a scale with a bag of heroin and fentanyl, and he was charged with being a convicted felon in possession of a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony, and possession of controlled substances. Abston, he tells the police that his brother had been cleaning the interior of his GMC Terrain with floor cleaner, as well as washing his clothes in the sink of the house. Another neighbor had also confirmed that Abston was acting very strange, and police determined that his phone pinged near to where Fletcher was taken. Officers were seen removing a dumpster that was close to Abston's brother's low-income apartment complex over the weekend. And so authorities, they went to Abston's last known address and found the same black SUV with a damaged taillight. The affidavit said Abston was standing in the doorway when police arrived and that he began to flee but was soon apprehended. After the discovery of the car, Fletcher's family, her father Beasley, mother Adele, her brother Gil to the far right, and her husband appeared on camera alongside their lawyer, Mike Keeney, who is also her uncle. They had offered a $50,000 reward for any information that results in Fletcher being brought home safely. In the statement, Keeney thanked the law enforcement for their search efforts and stated, "We believe someone knows what happened and can help." At this station, Fletcher's husband became overcome with emotion. You can see him in the video wiping away tears. Eliza, a fitness fanatic who would regularly jog the same route, had her phone hurled to the ground and smashed during the crime. The abducted woman is the granddaughter of hardware magnate Joseph Joe Orgel III, who died in 2018. Fletcher's mother, Adele, she is Orgel's daughter. Their hardware wholesale family business, Orgel Inc., does $3 billion in annual sales. The description of the company on the website calls Orgel the world's largest independent hardline distributor with annual sales of $3 billion. The company is privately owned. The Orgel Inc., they employ more than 5,500 people. Abston, he has a history of heinousness. A neighbor described him as a pervert who once snuck up behind her and propositioned her for sex. He did the same to other women in the complex and at times would sit in his black SUV gawking at women walking by or sitting on stoops. Another neighbor, LaToya, said the suspect also propositioned her and her 20-year-old niece earlier this year. LaToya told DailyMail.com, "He kept waving me over to him and was like, 'I've got $100. He tried to catch my niece too, tried to get her to come into the apartment with him. As far as I know, nobody here have sex with him. He creepy. He really creepy." That's what the neighbor LaToya said. And Abston, he just spent more than 22 years in state prison for another abduction. In June 2000, when he was 16 years old, he forced Memphis-based lawyer Kemper Durand into the trunk of his car at gunpoint. Durand was trapped in the cold darkness of his car trunk for several hours. Abston and another man, Marquette Cobbins, drove Durand to ATMs where they forced him to withdraw and hand over money. The lawyer was standing at a Mapco gas station ATM, still at gunpoint, when he saw an armed Memphis House Authority guard. Durand yelled for her and his assailants. Fled. They were later arrested, tried, and found guilty for his kidnapping. In a victim impact statement, Durand said, "My feelings about being the victim of this crime and the feelings of those around me are that I was extremely lucky that it was able to escape from the custody of Cleotha Abston. And he says, had the security guard not happened to walk in while Durand was at the Mapco station, he believed his story could have turned out much worse. He says, it is quite likely that I would have been killed had I not escaped. At the sentencing hearing for Abston and Cobbins, Durand asked the judge to give Cobbins leniency. And I do want to correct myself. I try to be as accurate on these stories as possible. That's why I didn't run with this story as soon as they said a body has been found. Even though I knew that had to be her because of the timing of where she was found, I didn't want to run with the story until it was confirmed. But yesterday I did say something that was a bit off. When I shared that Durand was asking for leniency for this Howard Abston, I was wrong. He wasn't asking for leniency for Abston. He was asking for leniency for Cobbins. Because he says, yes, the man had been there and could certainly be considered an accomplice. But as Kemper saw it, the man was at the wrong place with the wrong person at the wrong time. Durand had described how while he lay in the trunk of his car, he listened to the men talking. And he recalls that Cobbins pleaded with Abston to stop the car, let this man out, give him his keys, and go. And before his conviction for kidnapping Durand, he had already appeared in juvenile court numerous times for charges including theft, aggravated assault with a weapon, and rape, according to the lawyer's testimony. His first appearance in the system dates back to 1995 when he was only 12 years old. And yes, the judge did take leniency on that young boy Cobbins. And court records show that Abston, he was previously charged with this aggravated kidnapping in June of 2000. He was sentenced to 24 years, but was eligible for release after 85% of that sentence was served. So if he lived out that full 24 years, Eliza Fletcher would be here today. But my guess is someone else would have been in the same situation when he gets out, because he obviously had a lifelong problem. After confirming that this was Eliza Fletcher, this violent felon has now been charged with first-degree murder and first-degree murder in the perpetration of kidnapping. And we find that her body was found in an abandoned elementary school. He appeared in court for his arraignment wearing a mask and green issued prison uniform, and telling the court in an affidavit that he is unable to afford a lawyer or make bond. I still don't understand why they give him bond. Fletcher's family did attend this short appearance, and they're having another hearing on September 7th. Abston did not speak during the short 15-minute hearing and was led away by officers with his hands cuffed behind his back. Here's a quick little overview, thanks to dailymail.com, on the whole searching. On Carr Avenue, police search Fletcher's family home. Eliza Fletcher is abducted at 4:20 in the morning on September 2nd. Police search Overton Park looking for clues. They would later find her body on Person Avenue and South Orland Street. And to share a little about how wonderful this Memphis teacher at the all-girls kindergarten school, look at this video that she created for her girls. It's a tearjerker because it tells you how wonderful this lady was.
Hey girls, it's Miss Fletcher. So before we go, I wanted to remind you of something that we do at St. Mary's that's so special and that I miss a lot, so I want to see if you can join in with me. We're going to sing This Little Light of Mine, okay? Ready? This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm going to let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. shine all over St. Mary's School. I'm gonna let it shine. Shine all over St. Mary's School. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Miss you, girls. Now you need to let the light shine at your house, and I will see you later. But wait, 1 second. I heard somebody that you might want to meet. Janie, come here, girl. Come here, Janie. Come here, Janie. Hey, look, girls. This is Janie. And Janie is the girl in our house because there's 2 little boys and a Mr. Fletcher, and so there's just me and Janie. And I miss all of you girls so much. Bye.
Rest in peace, Eliza Fletcher. Taken from this world way too soon. My friends, be careful out there. This is a sad, crazy world we live in. So many people are quick to blame others as to why we're in this situation. Bottom line is, this started before any of us were born. If you read the Bible, you know where it all began. So people could come with all this politics stuff here and there, and it doesn't matter. Humans are still humans. They have been doing these heinous things since the beginning of time. The best part is that not everyone's like that. Not everyone's as bad as this SOB. Be careful out there, because no matter how much you are on alert, something bad can happen. Road rage gone wrong. Confronting someone gone wrong. Because even if you feel like a fight is a fight, it can go bigger, worse, and bad. So my friends, be careful. Watch your steps. Watch your actions, because that one moment of anger can really take it too far. Be careful for creeps like this out there. I'm Manny Rodriguez. My friends, if that's the type of content you like to follow, be sure to click on that subscribe. And if you got some value, please hit the like button. That lets YouTube know there's value in this video. Show it to more. I'm Manny Rodriguez. My whole purpose is to serve you, bring light to the victims taken from this world way too soon, and help give them a voice and who they were, the specialness in them. I don't care what life they live, a person's life should not be taken from another unless it's self-defense. Thank you for joining. I look forward to serving you again. Peace.